A steel cage disappears into black water, and comes back looking like it has been welded to the ocean floor. Then, you see it. Legs first, claws. And a shell so big it barely fits through the rail. This is giant king crab fishing, and when the catch is on, they do not pull in dozens. They pull in mountains. Welcome back to Factory Flow. Today we are going out with the crew to see how giant king crab are caught at extreme scale. Pot after pot, haul after haul, until the deck looks like it is moving. King crab fishing is not about chasing a fast school like mackerel. It is slow, heavy, and strategic. The crew targets specific grounds, mapped locations where crab migrate, feed, and settle. Season timing matters. Water temperature matters. And the biggest factor is simple. You only get a short window to make it count. Before the first pot hits the water, the deck becomes a prep line. Steel crab pots are stacked like cages. Each one gets rigged with lines, buoys, and identification tags. Then, the bait goes in. Usually oily fish that can throw scent far in cold water. Bait jars are locked down so the smell spreads, but the bait does not vanish too fast.
Hold fast.
This is the first secret: the pot is not just a trap.
Ready?
It is a scent machine.
Secure the buoy.
Now the set begins. The boat holds a steady course. The crew feeds pot after pot over the stern. Heavy steel dropping fast. Each splash is a marker, each buoy a coordinate. Because when you set dozens, sometimes hundreds, you are building a grid you will come back to later. And if you lose that grid in rough weather, you lose everything. Then comes the waiting game soak time. Down below, the bait plume spreads through the water. Crabs follow it. They crawl toward the pot, climb in through the funnels, and once they are inside, the design makes it hard to climb back out. The ocean stays calm on the surface, but the real work is happening in the dark. And now the most intense part of king crab fishing begins: hauling. The hydraulic pot hauler grabs the line and starts pulling. At first, it is smooth. Then the tension spikes. The rope hums. The block shakes. You can feel the weight through the deck. Because a full pot is not just heavy, it is alive. It shifts. It fights. It swings. The pot breaks the surface, dripping, and suddenly, the ocean turns red, brown, and spiky. A packed cage of giant king crabs. Legs tangled, claws snapping, shells scraping steel. This is the moment everyone waits for. The camera sees. Wow. The crew sees something else: time pressured. The pot is opened, and the deck gets loud. Metal, water, and the hard tap of shells hitting the sorting table. Now the crew moves fast, because king crab quality depends on handling. They sort by size. They check legal requirements. They separate keepers from releases. Small ones go back. Females often go back depending on the fishery rules. Soft shell or weak crab get released, because they will not survive transport well, and they do not hold quality. This is not random. It is a system. A measuring gauge decides what stays. A quick inspection decides what goes. And every second matters, because the crab needs to stay strong and alive, especially if it is going to be shipped live or processed at premium grade. Once sorted, the keepers move into holding. On many vessels, crab are kept in chilled seawater tanks or wet holds with circulation. Cold, oxygenated, stable. This step is everything. Warm crab get stressed. Stressed crab lose quality. So, the boat becomes a floating, cold, chain operation, even before it reaches port. Then the cycle repeats. Another buoy. Another line. Another haul. Some pots come up light. Only a few crab. But then you hit the right ground, and it feels unreal, pot after pot coming up heavy. Like the ocean is handing them over in bulk. This is where, caught by the millions, becomes believable. Not because one pot is insane, but because the rhythm does not stop. Back at port, the catch becomes logistics. Crab are offloaded fast, weighed, and routed. Some to live markets, some to processors. In the processing world, king crab usually goes through a tight sequence: cleaning, cooking in salted water, rapid cooling, then freezing and glazing to protect the meat from dehydration. That is how a crab pulled from icy water becomes a bright red, shelf-stable product shipped across the world. But out here, on deck, the story is simpler and harsher. Cold wind, heavy steel, tight timing, and a catch that can swing from barely worth it to unbelievable in a single string of pots. That is king crab fishing at scale: precision, endurance, and the kind of weight you can feel through your boots. Now tell me in the comments, what shocked you most? The size of the crab? The brute force of the hauling machine? Or how fast the crew has to sort and stabilize the catch? If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe for more factory flow. And tell me what you want next: lobster pots, snow crab, deep sea shrimp, or a full crab processing factory from live tanks to frozen packs.
Keep your hands clear. Got it. Hold it steady. The seas are rough.
I've got it. Watch your footing.
Heavy load coming in.
Set it down right here. Watch your hands on the lid. Got it. Okay, latch open.
Hold it steady. Lower it down.
Watch the line! Line! Careful! Careful!